Well, good morning. I am coming to you live from Cuenca, Ecuador, this time on the balcony, one of the balconies outside my accommodation here as I am participating in the, I'm going to get it right, Gangsta Grannies Global. And I'm one of the gangsta grannies out here, a woman over 50 who is on her way to healing and wellness and wanting to spread the information that I am learning. And today I thought about, I've spent decades being in the human resources field and for the most of my career leading people. People fascinate me, and I think everyone can benefit from learning about themselves because we all interact with people. We do not walk through this life alone. We do not live in isolation. And so I believe that in order for systems and workplaces and families to function better and healthily, it is important for individual healing to take place. And what does that look like? That looks like understanding myself, why I do the things I do, getting at the root causes of some of the unhealthy ways that I have learned to cope because of circumstances, maybe of my own making, consequences of my own actions, or the things that have happened to me. But either way, we're each responsible for ourselves. And the more that we can spread the message of healing, understanding ourselves, the better our relationships will be, our workplaces will be, our families will be, our friendships will be. As an HR leader, I spend the majority of my time on people dynamics, understanding the miscommunications, understanding how, something was not interpreted properly. Also helping people manage those prickly ones among us. Why is my boss a micromanager? My boss might need to understand why they're a micromanager. And again, not my current boss. My boss is wonderful. But these are the kinds of things that intrigue me and make my work interesting that I've chosen as a career, but also for myself. Understanding myself better. Why do patterns show up in all of my relationships? Different people, different circumstances. The common denominator is me. And I'm responsible for me. And so I just think that, healing, part of it, yes, can be spa treatments, which I love and plan to partake in while I'm here in Ecuador. Part of it can be slow living. But in that slowing down, in the caring for ourselves well, I would encourage everyone to find tools and safe places to explore the traumas in your life, the things that have happened to you, the things you have done. Maybe you're like me, someone who had to compartmentalize just for survival's sake. But how many of us know you can only stuff into a compartment so long before it explodes, before it erupts, before it seeps into another area, into something that you didn't want it to touch, or at timing when it is not an opportune time. And so if we can take responsibility for ourselves, for our healing, for our well-being, for understanding, if you are the prickly one at work, if you've never been a part of a conversation about the prickly person, you might be the prickly person at the office. And you might want to understand, why is that? Why do I just wake up mad? I've just taken my first breath and I woke up angry. What is that about? Why is just seeing this person's name coming up in my inbox causing me to have an attitude before I even open up the message? They might have issues. They might be a problem. But I would encourage you to look at how you are responding to life. How are you responding to the circumstances in life? And think about how you can investigate your responses and get to some better, healthier ways of being and living. That is what I am on a mission to do here in Cuenca. I'm so grateful for the many years of therapy, for different faith environments that I have been able to lay my burdens down, to understand what is mine to carry and what needs to be cast at the feet of Jesus, right? But there's layers. There's layers. This life, I believe, to be lived well and intentionally, is not that you're always at work, always looking for what's wrong, but that we are always evolving and expanding our minds, our hearts, our capacity to love, to experience the good in life. Sometimes requires us to get rid of the junk, get rid of the baggage, and take some time to know what we need to just put down. So that's my observation today. We are about to go into our group circle time in a little bit, and so I thought I would come on and just give a pre-reflection for the day. But I'm working remotely as I am participating in this program, and that's what prompted the title of this live. One of my favorite colleagues and I were having a discussion about some pretty serious things going on at work, but just thinking about some of the other colleagues that we have to work with on these projects, and not only are you dealing with the thing that you're dealing with, the problem that you're trying to solve, but it is understanding the dynamics of the team and how to approach certain people to get what we need, to be able to have productive conversations, to get to the decisions that need to be made. And some folks at my workplace anyway, but I'm sure at everybody's workplace and everybody's family, some folks require a lot of effort to engage with. And so it is my hope, my prayer, my dream that as many people as possible realize they do not have to stay in the state that they are in, that they don't have to be so burdened down by circumstances, by the past, the things that have happened to them, that they can put that stuff down and live free, live well, live whole, and have joy in every area of life, at work, at home, in relationships, when we take time to stop and pour into ourselves and intentionally question the ways that we are in the world. There is a root cause to it. This is not about victimhood. It's not about rehearsing your worst moments, but it's about how can I lay that stuff down, learn the lesson, realize I don't have to respond the same way that I've always responded. Realize that I can be different when I know that what I did to survive was for that time, But in the boardroom, talking to Chad, I'm not in danger. I'm not the little girl that was trying to survive, situations. But I am able to be present and choose a different response when I understand that I'm not in that danger anymore. And that maybe what is being said is still tapping on an area that I need to heal. And that's okay. It's information. I can choose to respond differently. When we heal, we can understand and choose to respond differently. I can release, I can forgive, and I can operate in the fullness of who I am. Before life happened, no baby came into this world with baggage, but life happens. And so part of this experience is for me reclaiming that childlike innocence and joy with the wisdom of experience and letting go of everything that came to harm me, knowingly or unknowingly. Again, we're dealing with unhealed people most of the time, right? So I spent a lot of time angry at people that I thought should have known better. And then I had to face when I've harmed others in my level of unhealing. And we are all doing the best that we can with what we know. And as Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. And so for me, part of my knowing is knowing myself. Because as we're learning in this program, I'm only responsible for me. I'm only responsible for me. I can only control how I show up, how I can, understand it is not my responsibility to change somebody else, to try to become something, to elicit a different response from this person. No. I can recognize, oh, you're still on a healing journey. I can try to show a way, but I am only responsible for me. And sometimes that does look like reevaluating relationships. I'm not big on cut people off, but I can reevaluate and put you in a different category and understand that maybe it's not for us to go deep, and that's okay. That's okay. As you heal, I think some relationships will just change on their own because there is a dance in dysfunction. It's comfortable. It's what we know. I've been there. It was comfortable. And so as I changed up the steps, I'm not in sync with those dance partners any longer. And so things just change, and that's okay. But I believe wholeheartedly individual healing is the key, because everything we do is with people. We're in this life, walking through it with people. Oh, I see now, I'm looking at comments. My cousin is here. King Hemi says, yes, heavy on learn and release. Yes, we cannot carry that stuff. It prohibits us from living fully when we are weighted down by the junk of life. Release it. Amen. Chip on shoulder. Look, I've been there. I felt like everybody owed me something. The world owed me something. Life was not fair to me. And the reality is everybody's going through something. And some things weren't fair. But only I can face that and let it go. Grieve the life that I wished I had had. And reach and build a life that I am choosing for myself. A life that is full of joy. A life that I wake up grateful to be breathing. A life that looks back again with gratitude, with just pride that, like, girl, you survived that stuff. Come on here. This is not minimizing the damage, but it is setting an altar of gratitude for what I survived, what I can learn from it, how I can still wake up and choose something different, but also reaching back, not looking at others in judgment because I've been there. These are gifts. Even the hardest moments can be gifts. Some are just hard, for sure. I'm not going to act like, every terrible thing that happens to us is a gift. That is absolutely not true. But some ways our experience shape us and give us those points of connection to relate and affirm others and provide a light to a way forward, a different way. And so thank you everyone who joined me. Again, I will be sharing over these 30 days as I am learning, as I am just getting freer. I think the IG Live is going to be the way to go. It's just easy and simple. Don't have to worry about how the camera is going. My Gen X self out here working with technology. This is easy, so I might stick with it. But we are getting ready to go into our healing circle time. And so I hope wherever you are having an incredible day. I hope you are taking care of yourself. I pray that you are giving yourself the nourishment that you need, whatever that looks like. Is that moving your body, eating well, resting, napping, getting in nature, whatever that is, to give yourself what you need. I pray today that you prioritize that. Give that to yourself. Be well. Have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.